Hello everyone, it's Ngozi and I'm back with another video. Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about how I got my vitamin D levels from 10 to 60, over 60 nanograms per milliliter. Alright, so if you're interested in this, you're struggling with vitamin D deficiency, you're having issues with getting your vitamin D levels within therapeutic range, stay tuned and let's get into the video. So vitamin D has gotten a lot of attention recently, and it's very important vitamin. A lot of people do have vitamin D deficiency, particularly people with darker skin, especially African Americans. And people with darker skin tend to have lower vitamin D levels because of melanin, which blocks or lessens the production of vitamin D. Vitamin D is a fat soluble vitamin that has a lot of function in the body. It's really known for helping to absorb calcium and phosphorus. It also is linked to inflammation. It can help reduce inflammation, also helps with infections. It's literally almost every organ in the body has a receptor for vitamin D. So it's very important, can be very underrated, and a vitamin D deficiency can really affect you. Like a lot of people don't understand. I know people who have went to the doctor, been diagnosed as sick, and literally it was because their vitamin D was so deficient. And once they started taking vitamin D supplements, they started feeling a whole lot better. So vitamin D really is important. A lot of foods have vitamin D, like sardines, egg yolks, milk, things like that. But it is hard to absorb vitamin D from foods because a lot of the foods with vitamin D in them are fortified, and fortified vitamin D uses D2. So I'm going to get into the two types of vitamin D just really quick. You have D2 ergocalciferol. It's produced in plants and fungi, and it's the form that's usually found in fortified foods. All right. Then you have D3, which is cholecalciferol, and is found in animals and humans. All right. That's the one that we produce. Studies have shown that it raises levels a little more than vitamin D2, and for that reason, it is usually the one that is suggested, vitamin D3. The recommended daily allowance of vitamin D is 600 IU a day for those, up to 70 years old, and 800 IU for those over 70 years old. And vitamin D is usually recorded in IUs or micrograms. You can convert between the two. They have the conversions online. So 600 IUs equal to 15 micrograms. And the upper limit of vitamin D for those 9 and over is 4,000 IU. 4,000 IU is 100 micrograms. All right. So it is not suggested to take over 4,000 IU, also known as 100 micrograms of vitamin D a day. All right. So now that we have a little bit of the background knowledge, I'm going to go into what my levels were before I started supplementing, and one particular thing that helped get my vitamin D levels up. All right. So I've had vitamin D deficiency for a while. I had to go back to all my labs that I can find. Starting off with May 2016, my vitamin D was 20.6 nanograms per milliliter. And the therapeutic range for vitamin D is at least 30 nanograms per milliliter or more, and it's usually you're really trying to get it even into the 50s for people that really struggle with low vitamin D. You want to get it as high, not over 100, but you really want to get it on the higher end of that 30 to 100 nanograms per milliliter range. All right. So like I said, in May 2016, mine was 20.6. All right. Then in December of 2017, it dropped to 10.3. Mind you, during all this low vitamin D, I started having a lot of scalp issues. And if you haven't watched my videos, how I cure my itchy scalp, I mentioned the vitamin that I'm also going to mention in this video, but stay tuned. We're going to get to it. Okay. Then the next reading I have is May 2021. I don't know why I couldn't find anything between those 4 years. And it was 51. All right. 51 nanograms per milliliter. Mind you, a couple years back, it was 10.3. And then, drum roll, last month, April, my vitamin D, April of 2022, my vitamin D levels were 63 nanograms per milliliter. My lowest in the last 5-6 years was 10.3. Now it's 63. All right, so I'm going to tell you all what I did to really get my vitamin D levels higher. Number one, I've been talking about it on my channel, vitamin K. Vitamin K, specifically MK7 menaquinone. All right. Vitamin K is also fat soluble like vitamin D, and they're said to have a synergistic relationship, meaning that when taken together, they have more of an effect than when taken individually. All right, so they really work well with each other. A pairing effect. So much literature out there. I don't want to get too scientific for y'all, but vitamin K, there's a lot of clinical trials, a lot of studies going on as we speak about the importance of vitamin K when it comes to reabsorption, moving calcium, strengthening bones, cardiovascular health. A lot of things are being studied, and people are really starting to see the benefits of vitamin K. But also when it comes to itchy scalp, I told y'all my video how I cured my itchy scalp. One of the big factors was taking high dose vitamin D with vitamin K. Disclaimer, gotta put this in there. This is not medical advice. This does not replace a relationship with your healthcare practitioner. Before you start any supplements, please get your labs monitored and also talk to your healthcare professional. Seek advice, particularly if you're taking warfarin, also known as Coumadin. Please don't start taking these vitamins without talking to your doctor. Everyone's different. This is by no means medical advice. This is just telling you my experience and what worked for me. So around 2020 February, or was it 2019? No, it was 2019. After, it's either February 2019 or 2020, I started trying things to really get to the root of my itchy scalp. It was getting unbearable, and I stumbled on a video by Dr. Berg talking about vitamin K, tamarind oil, L-glutamine. Tried L-glutamine, wasn't crazy about taking so many pills. Took vitamin K and vitamin D and saw a huge change. Mind you, I only have my labs from 2017 December, then it jumps to 2021. So even if I started taking it in February, I believe it was February 2020, by the next year, over 1 year later, my vitamin D levels was at 51. All right, 51. Then recently, last month, still taking the everyday consistently, is at 63. So I don't need anyone to tell me that it's definitely vitamin K that helped, because the issue, like they say, is that getting your vitamin D up is difficult relying just on food alone. Most of, like you said, the vitamin D has D2 in it, doesn't sustain levels as long as vitamin D3 does, and you're just gonna have to eat so much of the food that is almost impossible. Like even getting a vitamin D toxicity based on food is literally impossible. So most people do supplement for vitamin D. And also, if you know, like, if you're not out all day, you're not getting it through the skin, which is one of the main ways you can get it. So most people do supplement with a vitamin D supplement, but the vitamin K helps increase those levels even more when you're taking them together. So like I said, vitamin D, you want to stay in therapeutic range. You don't want to OD. I would suggest, keep monitoring your levels. Don't just keep taking vitamin D. Make sure it's working. Make sure it's going up. Make sure, that you're actually seeing some benefit from the vitamin D through your take. Also, it's important, I would say, from personal experience, take quality vitamins. A lot of times people don't understand the importance. The FDA does not regulate vitamins or supplements, does not go through that rigorous testing, that processing. There's a lot of vitamins out there that have a lot of other stuff in it. So, I'll do a video if you guys want. Like, comment below if you want me to suggest vitamin D brands to use. Don't just get any vitamin D off the shelf, or really trying to get high quality potent vitamins so you're getting more for your money. You're going to see an effect quicker. That's another one, because a lot of times you just go and get whatever we see on the shelf, and it may not be the best option. But yeah, vitamin K, I personally think, helped increase my vitamin D levels. I was struggling with vitamin deficiency for years, through college, after college, always had low vitamin D. Then finally, my vitamin D started going up and staying at within the therapeutic range, a higher end of the therapeutic range. So if you're someone that's struggling with a vitamin D deficiency, let me know. If this is helpful, have you tried testing? Do you test your vitamin D levels throughout the year? Another thing, a lot of insurance companies give issues with testing vitamin D. They try and charge extra. Make sure you talk to your doctor. They have to bill it as a vitamin deficiency if you're someone that experienced vitamin deficiency before, of course. So you can make sure you're testing your vitamin D, because you can't just be taking it and you're not testing it to make sure that the pills you're taking are working and that you're really seeing a benefit from it. But let me know how you feel about this video. Have you taken vitamin K before? Have you taken vitamin D before? What is your vitamin D? What range is usually in? You know, it's measured in nanograms per milliliter, so you can just put the number, like what's the lowest you've tested, your vitamin D has tested for, and what are you doing to help increase your vitamin D levels and help improve your overall health. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like this type of content. I'll be having more come out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.